This is part 3 of creating a shell from bits and pieces of metal, and welcome to the third part, which is bending the metal and welding it together. So at the moment, with the shell completed and all the cement on top, I'm starting to try and arrange bits and pieces of metal that I don't have to blacksmith, that I don't have to put into the forge. You know, some bits have natural curves in them. I'm just going to give it a bit of a whack. Yep, that was pretty easy to bend. I might have bent it too far actually. Okay, let's see if it fits a bit better now. A bit too far. Yeah, a bit too far. I think I'll bend it back a bit. Let's try and flatten it out a bit. Let's see if this fits. So you can see, you know, there's a lot of, that's a much better fit. A lot of time taken out in trying to get these bits right. So right now, I've turned over the shape and I'm just welding the back so I can get it pretty sturdy and secure. So looking at the back of this, I can see there are, you know, that's a pretty good weld there. Whereas I can see that there's some slaggy ones. That's a real slaggy one. And I can see that there are some bits which hardly have any weld joining the two pieces. So what I'm going to do now is go into some of these slaggy ones. See, I mean, that weld there's hardly joined the two pieces. So you can see I've got out that slaggy bit down here, and I'm going to re-weld that. The reason things aren't welding together properly, apart from me not being the best welder, because we've got really different thicknesses. You can see how thin that is, that there, and how thick that is. So when you've got a thin and a thick piece of steel, it's really hard to weld that. Plus, I've got a suspicion that not everything here is actually steel. Some of it could be cast iron. Plus some bits are actually got paint on them, and that makes it hard to actually get to the welding surface. So I'll turn on the machine now and try and weld up those areas. I find it helpful sometimes to just rotate things at different angles, and then you can get to see where you've missed. So I can see there's a little section in there with the square I've actually missed. And then I'm using my foot to actually hold it there. So as I'm doing this, I'm thinking more about how to maintain the integrity of the shape of this clamshell. I'm trying to keep things a bit up on this level here, and over here, and here, just by having thicker objects or stranger objects like this little wheel. And, you know, I'm obviously thinking of the welding area. You know, I want to try and get as much welding area as I can on things. And yeah, it's just aesthetics. And actually, as I'm doing this, I'm thinking of how wonderful it was as a child collecting shells. And I think this is the part that I like most out of the whole creation is just welding together all these little bits and pieces and thinking about where they came from. You'll notice that these ribs are kind of higher up here, and then as you get down towards the bottom, you know, this actually flattens out. So I'm trying to be very careful that I do flatten things out. One really good way to do that is just by sticking in balls, steel balls. I think a lot of my balls have come out of ball bearings. So yeah, maybe like that. And you know, sometimes when you get things a bit too high, you stick in something high to sort of bring it down to the next level. Sometimes you might find it necessary to just hold things in shape, in place with a pair of tweezers or something. I feel like it's lost a bit of its shape integrity here. Oh, sorry, not there, here. It looks like it's dipping down and then dipping down and coming up. So what I'm going to do there is put a little bolt in here, just sort of give it that appearance of moving up. This bit here that I'm holding with the glove is probably cast iron, but I'll just weld it on with the stick welder temporarily, and normal steel rods, and I'll get a cast iron rod later. I'm going to take this metal shell off, this shell, and I'm going to sort of clean up some of the welds just with a brush on a drill, a metal brush. Maybe I'll use the angle grinder. But before I do that, I'm just going to mark out some of these areas, because it's really important to make sure that the shell, the frame, goes back where it was before. Otherwise you'll get a strange sort of shape. So I'm just sort of marking off the ends of it really. And I'm just sort of giving myself a bit of an indication of what was here. I have known, you know, things that get stuck sometimes. Yeah, I can see there's a few undercuts here, but pretty much it's all coming off. You can see that. So this is at the point where I've got almost all the pieces done, and I can actually get them off the mold. And so the next step is putting the pieces together without the mold.